Yo, what's good, everybody? It's the Don, and we back. We back with another banger. In today's video, we're talking about 3 of the biggest mistakes you can make in your 20s. And this isn't just about in your 20s, really. These are mistakes that you can make throughout your whole life. You know, going into your 30s, 40s, some people never learn these things, but it's best if you learn them early on in your life. That way, your future could be a lot better. And if you're in your teens, then that's even better for you because you're gonna learn a lot of things in this video. First thing I want to talk about is not having self-respect, and there's a bunch of reasons why this is a mistake, but in my opinion, the biggest reason why is because it lowers your self-esteem. If you don't have self-respect, if you put up with shit that you don't want to put up with, you get walked all over, it leads to you having low self-esteem. As someone who doesn't have low self-esteem anymore but used to, I can tell you right now that the difference in between how you carry yourself and how you get treated is night and day. Because when you have self-respect, it forces other people to respect you. If you have boundaries, standards, it forces other people to meet those standards and comply with those boundaries. Now, if they don't want to do that, that's cool. They're free to not do that. And you're free to cut them off. Whether it's a woman, a friend, a boss, whatever it is, a job, if they don't meet your standards and they don't treat you with respect, at the end of the day, you got to put yourself first. You have to put yourself first. You have to cut them off, get rid of the job, get rid of the woman, get rid of that friend, whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, you have self-respect. And if you don't, it's a big mistake. Why? Because you get disrespected constantly, you get walked all over, and it lowers your self-esteem, like I said earlier. And that is the worst thing you could do. Because why would you as a man put up with someone that doesn't respect you? Think about that for a second. I know people tell you to hide your feelings, suppress your emotions, do all this and all that, but at the end of the day, you have those emotions for a reason. And if you don't like what's going on, it's your job to handle that. And that comes with being emotionally unattached. You can't be attached to people, places, or things like that because let me put it like this. Let's say you're with the woman, right? And you tell her not to do something. For example, you tell her not to be talking to other men. Let me put it like that. And she continues to do that. How does that make you feel? You don't like it. You don't like that feeling. But you have that feeling for a reason. And the worst thing you can do in that moment is avoid that feeling. The worst thing you can do is avoid that feeling. Because if you do avoid it, every day that you put up with that, with the disrespect, with her not meeting your standards, every day that you put up with that, you lose a little bit of respect for yourself. You lose your self-esteem. It starts to go down. And that is the worst place you can be as a man. So, gentlemen, if you feel like you're being disrespected, if it goes on constantly after you address it, cut that person, that friend, that thing, that woman, whatever it is, cut it off. There's no reason for you to be putting up with that. You should always put yourself first. Think about yourself. Think about how it makes you feel. If you don't like that feeling, you don't have to put up with it. And I know if you're dealing with a woman, let's say you're dealing with a woman, and you think, oh, she's the only woman I've ever had, she's the only person that truly loves me, all this and all that. That's not even true. You don't need that person. You don't need that woman. As much as you think you do, as much as you think you might need them, you don't. You just don't. Whether it's a friend, a woman, whatever it is, bro, at the end of the day, there's always going to be more. And that's why you must live with an abundance mindset. But that's for a whole nother video. But yeah, mistake number 1, not having self-respect. And to truly understand why it's a mistake, you must understand what self-respect is. And that is being firm with your boundaries, being firm with your standards, standing by your principles, living by your principles, whatever it is. And every person has different standards for themselves. But at the end of the day, it all comes from within. It's not about what somebody else tells you to put up with or what somebody else tells you not to put up with. It always comes from within, your own self standards. What is your standards? Every man's looks different. Everybody has their own standards. Everybody has their own principles, and that's how you should go about your life. And if whatever is in your life doesn't fit that, cut it off. Cut it off. Let's get to mistake number 2. The worst thing you can do is chase a woman that doesn't want you. For example, if a woman has these very unrealistic expectations, buying her flowers, buying her gifts, taking her on trips, doing all this and all that just to get laid, you should never do that. That is the worst thing you can do. Man, never lead with your wallet, okay? Never lead with your wallet in a relationship, okay? If anything, she should be buying you gifts. She should be buying you flowers. She should be taking you on trips. Okay, that's just how I think of things. But, you know, everybody's got their own standards. Yeah, but don't ever chase women. Don't ever feel like you need to prove yourself to a woman. Don't ever put a woman before you is what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is don't ever put a woman before you. Okay, you should always come first in your life, because at the end of the day, when you wake up and you know you're down bad, it's just you. It's just you. You're the only person you have. If you're depressed, you know, other people can help you. But at the end of the day, the only person that can get you out of that depression is you. Yourself. When you wake up, when you go to sleep in the coffin, okay? When you go in the coffin, the only person you have is yourself. You can't take women with you. You can't take your friends with you. You only have yourself. So that is why you should put yourself first. And yeah, I think putting women before you is the biggest mistake you can make, because if you're that type of man that's going to do that, at the end of the day, you're probably the type of man that's going to get attached to that woman. And if you're attached to a woman and she decides to leave you, your ass is going to be devastated. You're going to get depressed again. You're going to think that you need that woman. You're going to think that you need that woman back. And you don't. You don't need that woman back. She's probably the reason why you're so fucking depressed in the first place. So, gentlemen, do not chase women. Don't ever put women before you. But yeah, like I said, if she doesn't meet your standards, cut her off. Cut her off. First of all, you should be thinking about yourself and what you want out of the relationship. Alright, it's not all about her. You know, I made this mistake before. I used to be that type of guy that was like, in my first relationship, I did this in my first relationship ever. I used to chase behind this woman. I used to let her do whatever she wanted. And that was the worst time of my life. So, what did I do? I got rid of her. Once I finally woke up to what was happening, I got rid of her. Boom, cut her off. Got a new job. I started leveling up. Started putting myself first. And my life got better. And what she do? She came crawling back. She came crawling back. And what did I do? I fucked her. I fucked her and ghosted her. That's all I can do. Nah, I didn't ghost her. Alright, I'm not that evil. But, yeah, at the end of the day, like, the relationship didn't even work out anyway, so it don't matter. It don't matter. Mistake number 3, and I think this is actually the biggest mistake you can do. This is actually the biggest mistake. Maybe second. Maybe second to self-respect. Because if you have self-respect, you'll never make these mistakes. Alright, but mistake number 3 is not working hard enough. Not working hard enough. Okay, you're in your 20s. That's the time you have the most energy. Once you start getting older, you start getting diseases. You start becoming more, you know, tired. You get sick often. I don't know. I'm not that old. I'm only 23. But I can already tell a difference between how I used to be and how I am now. Yeah, not working hard enough. And I think the biggest reason why that's a mistake is because you have unfulfilled dreams. Everyone's got a dream, right? Everyone has that vision for themselves in life. And if you're not constantly working towards that vision, it's going to slip away. You start losing sight of the vision. The dreams that you could have manifested, they never come to fruition. And that all stems from not working hard enough. And we've all been there. We've all been there. We've all had that opportunity to push ourselves a little bit further, and we didn't. We decided not to do that. Or we decided that we were going to do something, but then we actually didn't do it. Like, let's say you wanted to play the guitar, right? You want to learn how to play the guitar, but you never actually started. You never actually worked towards that goal. As you get older, you get less time, which means that you get to fulfill less of those dreams. You get to explore less of those dreams. And some dreams, you can only do them when you're young. Especially if it's something like athletic, something that requires athletic, or something like that requires reaction time. Things like that. Things that you lose with age. Okay, you're gonna be left with unfulfilled dreams. I remember I used to want to be a basketball player, but I didn't realize I wanted to be a basketball player until I was already in high school. So I was like, already too old for that. And at that point, it's like you can't even go back and put in that type of work anymore, because everybody else has already had all those years of experience. And, at that point, you're not going to catch up. And even if you do catch up, like, it's going to require so much more work. But if you start working hard whenever you're young, you get more time in the game, you get more experience, and yeah, you get more results. You get more results. By working harder, you get more results. Another thing I wanted to add to that is don't be a bum in your 20s. That's the worst mistake you can make. Don't be a bum. Don't be a loser. If you're a bum in your 20s, then imagine how your life's going to look when you get older. And it sucks if you do this, because you see all the people around you, their life is moving up. They're getting more money, they're getting paid, and you're still stuck in the same position. And it's a terrible position to be stuck in, because eventually you get older. You get older, and you don't have the same opportunities anymore. And you don't have the same resume that you would have had if you would have just started young. You don't have the resume, you don't have the experience. In whatever it is, this could be in any field. For example, me, if I would have started making content when I was younger, I would be so much further ahead right now. And I'd probably be living a way better life if I would have started making content earlier. But, I can't go back now. I just have to start now, because it's one of my dreams to make content. And that's what I want to do. And that's why I'm doing it. Because I've realized that tomorrow never comes. You tell yourself you're going to get started tomorrow, but at the end of the day, tomorrow never comes. So you just have to do it right now. You have to do it today. You have to take advantage of the time that was given to you. And if you don't take advantage of that time, eventually you lose that time. Every day that you let go by without you working on your dream, without you going towards your goals, is wasted time. Everybody's been there. Everybody's been there. They wish they would have taken that opportunity, or they wish they would have stuck to that one thing. And yeah, you can't take it back. You can't rewind time. Time keeps on moving forward. It's the only limited resource that you have. It's truly the only limited resource. Everything else comes and goes. Time, once it's gone, it's gone. It don't come back. But yeah, time, once it's gone, it's gone. It doesn't come back. So make sure that when you're young, you put in that work. You put in that work while you're young. That way, once it comes to your 30s, your 40s, you're already so much further ahead of all your competition. Not only are you further ahead of your competition, but you're further ahead of yourself in that parallel universe where you didn't do that thing. Or you're going to be behind yourself in the parallel universe where you did do that thing. You know, if you know about the theory of the multiverse or whatever, you understand that every decision splits off into a different reality. Every decision that you make, every decision that you have made has brought you to where you are today. And if you understand that, then you'll start making better decisions. And that all comes with, you know, just being aware of what it's going to bring in your future. But yeah, that's why I say not working hard enough is a big mistake, because at the end of the day, you only have a limited amount of time, and if you don't take advantage of that time, it's gonna disappear. So make sure you work hard, pursue your dreams every day, because if you don't, you're left unfulfilled. You'll have this existential feeling that what you're doing is not right, that what you're doing is wasting time. You'll have this, it's gonna eat away at you. And it's terrible. It's terrible to have that feeling. That is the worst feeling you can have. That is the feeling of unfulfillment. Because everybody has dreams. Everybody has aspirations. Everyone has things they want to achieve in life. And we understand that our time is limited. But sometimes we don't understand how limited it really is. So we refuse to take advantage of our time. We scroll on TikTok. We scroll on Instagram. We watch Instagram Reels all day. We play video games all day. You know, and that's all cool for passing time. But at the end of the day, that's all you're doing is passing time. And that is not a good thing to do. That is not a good thing to do. But yeah, that's going to do it all for today's video. We'll see how it turns out. If y'all did like it, make sure you leave a like. And yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.